As a child are not restaurants. You know, it's picnics with my family.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
It's about the occasion, not necessarily just about what these people are going to eat. It's what they see, it's what they talk about while they eat it.
But there has to be a sense of humour.
There is a sense of humour.
Yeah, there has to be a bit of fun as well.
Totally.
Chris Bell's search for the perfect food for the People's Banquet took him to County Antrim, Northern Ireland, a region he's desperate to represent.
You know, this is where I'm from. This is the company that I'm passionate about, and this is where my heart is, you know. I'll put as much into it as anybody working in Belfast, if not more.
His earliest memories of sharing food hark back to family get-togethers.
There was always a barbecue and you always cooked it. It was only burgers and sausages. Not that there's anything wrong with your barbecue. I think, whenever people come together that haven't seen each other for a long time, it is always food that brings them together, you know, whether it be a wedding, a party. It doesn't matter what the occasion is. If people are getting together, I think it is the best way of building relationships with people.
It's these childhood experiences of sharing food Chris has used to inspire his menu.
I think food to share, it's got to bring back memories. And I've tried to create an element of that within each course. I'm trying to hopefully give people a memory of this banquet.
A tactic he hopes will get him to the final.
I've got to have confidence in myself, and I'm not here to make up numbers, and it would be a massive achievement to get a dish to the menu, and I'm going to do everything I can to get there.
3 of Northern Ireland's top chefs are putting their all into starters that they're dying to see shared at the People's Banquet. Brian's opted for a hearty platter of glazed ham, pigeon sausage rolls and wheaten bread. Chris Fern has chosen an off-the-wall coronation chicken in a bag. And for Chris Bell, it's an entire British picnic, hamper included. They're all hoping for top marks from former champion Richard Corrigan.
The atmosphere in the kitchen is really, really tense. You can just see the desperation. These guys want to impress.
All 3 chefs are under pressure. But Chris Fern seems to be taking it in his stride. His simple coronation chicken is already in the oven, unlike Brian's ham, which is boiled and cooled, ready for its glaze. But Richard thinks he's spotted a problem.
This is dry and the ham can be dry.
Yeah.
What are you putting in between to help?
Pickles.
Lots of good pickles.
Yeah. I'm doing pickled onions, pickled quail's eggs, pickled cucumber. I'm also doing a little pear and apple chutney.
His ham does seem overcooked. That could be the worst possible thing to happen to him today. Overcooked ham is dry. It's not interesting. I really hope for him that hasn't happened.
Brian won't know if he's overboiled this ham until he carves it just before serving. All he can do now is cover it in its glaze and get it in the oven. He still has his pigeon sausage rolls to prepare, but with plating up fast approaching, all eyes are on Chris Fern's incredible presentation.
What's this thing here?
This is the contraption, man. This is the mothership.
You've obviously put a lot of thought and a lot of emphasis on how this food's going to look.
Yes.
I mean, is that more important to you than what it's going to taste like, or?
No, they did say it has to have a wow factor,
Just make sure that chicken's cooked though, huh?
Undeterred by his rival's words of warning, Chris pushes on to the finish line, getting his chicken pieces into their bags and onto their pick and mix style counter with saucers of spicy seasoning.
I mean, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. You know what I mean? Well, you grab your chicken in the bag, and you put your spice into it as much as you want.
What do you recommend?
I'd say 1.5, but you could whack the whole onion if you want. You close it up, shake it up to activate it. Yep, go on. Sing a wee song as well.
Great idea on the sharing factor. But do I want to get my fingers greasy? Let's go and find out.
It's certainly a feast for the eyes, but is it suitable for the People's Banquet? His rival chefs seem to think so.
Brilliant idea.
I think it looks the part.
Very clever. Out of the box.
I mean, it's definitely a party dish, isn't it?
The brief is about fun, and I think this guy has hit it right on the head.
We all recognise humour.
Yeah.
But is it good enough? I'm going to have to taste it.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, I'm going to taste your cold stock. Is it a bit too mayonnaise-y? Do you think that's good enough for the judges?
I think maybe you could be lighting up a wee bit more.
And your humour is chicken. Is that just a lump of skin, is it?
Yeah.
Not so pretty. You might want to think about that.
Messy. It is messy.
Well,
It's very messy. But it's tasty.
I think eating with your hands is lovely. It doesn't bother me at all.
I have a thing about crispy chicken skin, you know what I mean? I think it should be crispy, but that's
the
just me.
skin. That's the only thing, the skin.
Chris, is this dish good enough to get through to the banquet?
I think if it's refined and I fix it, I think it's good enough.
Richard won't be revealing his thoughts or scores until he's tasted all 3 dishes. And he's a hard man to read.
The guy is just frightening, and you do not know where you stand with him. I got less and less positive as he tasted it, and a bit deflated now, so I feel that.
Chris Bell's modern take on a British picnic is up next, and he's still hard at it, topping his potted chicken with chicken liver parfait and putting the finishing touches to his Stilton and onion quiche. He's chosen a tabletop hamper and checkered tablecloth to present his picnic.
Looks really nice, Chris. You happy with it, man?
A bit late now if I'm not. No, I'm quite happy with it. I mean, the chicken has turned out the way I have. Everyone's pickled the way I want it to be. Wee tarts are set, but it doesn't matter if I'm happy with it or not. You know?
Richard is the man Chris needs to impress. He races to fill his hamper with jars of his chicken liver parfait, pickles and chutneys, and gets it to the pass.
Here we go. Here's my summer picnic.
And the eating of it, what happens? Everyone gets a board?
Everyone gets a board,
Yeah?
and then this will sit in the centre of the table. Everybody gets one of these on their board. You help yourself to onions, to chutney, decent gooseberries, a couple of wee slices of toast each, and then there's an old school flan on the side there. Take as little or as much as you want.
Mini buffet. Let's go.
Time to see if all Chris's hard work pays off.
Is there enough in that basket, Chris?
A little bit of each. I think it's more than enough for a first course.
He's covered all the angles. Cheese, pickle, meat. I think this, the way we're spooning out stuff, we're moving about, swapping things over and all, it's definitely interaction.
Okay, your pate. Is it set enough?
I think the texture and temperature of that there is just about bob on for me.
I just think that parfait is wee fraction under season.
Yeah, the bread's delicious, the toast.
Happy with that tart?
I am happy with the tart, yeah. I think it's good pastry. I think they're nice and sweet, the onions.
Not too sweet?
Maybe.
Pastry's very dry.
I think it's lovely. I like the pastry. I'm really happy with pastry.
There is a thing at British pub lunch about this. Is it good enough to win?
I think that dish can win. I've got to have confidence in it. We'll see if he likes it enough. But I'm still confident.
Chris will have to wait for Richard's verdict, but the pressure's off both our new boys for now. They can only watch and wait as Brian plates up his numerous pickles, pigeon sausage rolls, wheaten bread, and the star of his dish, the glazed ham. But there's a problem. His ham's overcooked. And Brian knows it could cost him valuable points.
Devastated. Ham, it's over, unquestionably. Everything else, no problem. But when you have something so simple and it's not done right, it's bad.
Do you help yourself here?
Yes, that's the whole part, interaction. You know, slice of ham, little sausage roll, a little bit of the chutney or pickle.
Cucumber, which is one of my favourite things in the world. So, proof in the tasting, Brian. Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
With his main ingredient ruined, all Brian can do is hope his many accompaniments save him.
So, the ham that you're not happy with?
Yeah. The ham that I'm not happy with. Dry. It's a sin.
The ham. It's wrecked. You know, it's about 2 hours overcooked. Like.
What do you think of your pigeon sausage?
I like them. I like the pigeon sausage roll.
Not too gimme?
Yeah, That's the quirkiness of it, you know. It's a sausage roll, you know. It's not too gamey.
These sausage rolls are delicious, but I don't see how they're relevant to a glazed ham, you know. It's all very wintry. You know,
It's very, very wintry. Yeah.
glazed ham and cloves.
Boxing Day food.
What about your bread? I always think bread and butter. Clearly you don't. Where's the butter?
No butter.
Do you think that's good enough for the group of Schmeen?
Yes, for a street party. You know, this is set in the centre of the table. Everybody helps themselves. It's got to be about fun. It's got to be about sharing. They don't want something that's so poncy. They want just good grub.
I know Brian can do better than that.
I am so frustrated with myself because I put so much time and effort into it and I have not executed it properly. I'm not happy with myself.
All 3 starters tasted. All the chefs can do now is anxiously await Richard's verdict. Which starter will he deem the perfect plate to share at the People's Banquet? Richard will be scoring each dish out of 10, and every point counts, as the lowest scoring chef across the week will leave the competition on Thursday.
I'm going to start with you, Chris Fearn. Your Coronation chicken with coleslaw possibly could have been a real disaster, but there were certain things I loved about it. Presentation, cracking. The taste was really, really good as well. The coleslaw could have been a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
And the soft skin, which you should work on.
I will work on. Yeah.
Chris Bell. Very accomplished dish indeed. Your pickles, delicious. But the room temperature rillette cum chicken liver just didn't do it for me. And the presentation was just a little bit flat. Brian McCann. Your pickles, delicious. Your overcooked ham needs no explaining from me.
I understand.
A bit of a disaster, really.
Time to find out who our front runners are after day 1.
Brian McCann. I've given you 4 points. Chris Bell. I've given you 7 points. Chris Fearn, a sense of humour goes a long way with me. I've given you a whopping 8 points.
Thanks very much, Richard. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
So well done, chefs.
Thank you. Didn't expect that at all, but...
So Chris Fearn surprised them all to take the lead with 8 points for his quirky Coronation chicken. Chris Bell's come in a close second with 7 for his picnic, and Brian's lagging behind with a disappointing 4 for his overcooked ham.
I'm over the moon with the result. I didn't expect it. To get 8 points in the first dish and come first is a bit nuts.
This is not the position I want to be in. Last place, 4 points behind the leader. I really have to pull my socks up now.
Tomorrow, the fight continues with the fish course.
There is a balance in getting it just perfect or tasting shocking.
And it's sink or swim time for Brian.
What happens in this course can make or break a competition for me. This is my chance. I need to get back on track.
Yeah.